Marry me, Annie here. This is the fourth in the series on the flow of the Rite. We touched on previously what ritual might be, the concepts of repeated actions, repeated uses of certain symbols, and we touched on ceremony, which is the way in which those things are done over and over again. Whether it's your own ceremony, something you do over and over in a similar way, or whether it is something done in community or inspired by community tradition. And then we mentioned the paradox of ritual, going through this sometimes convoluted process, steps that seem like rules and regulations and a sense of order, which actually bring us to a destination which has no rules and no order. This video is going to cover why do we perform a ritual. The reasons we might settle down, dedicate sacred space, and do something. And the reason I wanted to put this in at this point in the series is a lot of you have questions on that. You may have written your own rituals or borrowed rituals that moved you, gone to an elaborate process, found yourself then sitting in a circle going, and now what? What's it all about? Why am I here? What am I going to do? What is the purpose of all of this? You're the one that's going to decide this for yourself. It doesn't usually work just doing something because someone told you, here's a reason to do this. You have to feel what you need or what you want at any given time. There has to be value to this time. You're taking time out of your life, away from the responsibilities of your life. I have a list here. It may seem like I'm rattling off a list, but for those of you who are experienced, join the conversation by adding your own thoughts to reasons you have set aside ritual time to help those who are using this as new practitioners, finding their way through this. The list was actually intended for those who might be relatively new, because most of us who have been doing this for some time, I don't doubt we've done rituals for all of these reasons at some time or another. Here's some thoughts on why you might perform ritual, why you may set aside this time. Think of unmet needs, things you want, things you need, things you desire, that you want to focus on manifesting. Unmet needs, sitting down in ritual to declare them, to look for inspiration, how to reach those ends, in a way to formalize your desire, to make it so in the sense of, I have decided this is how important this is to me, to put out there, here's what I need, here's what I desire. Unmet needs and the act of ritualizing, here's what I need, here's what I'm willing to invest in this, and here's what I look for in the way of inspiration or energy from the universe to support that. For those of you who use active prayer, it creates a quiet space in which to pray, whatever prayer might be for you. Meditation is very well done in that environment. It's an environment outside of distraction. It is an energy place of calm if you decide to make it so. Separate it out from the busyness of your life. I like to do ritual to celebrate and give thanks, honoring important times in my life, important emotions, feelings, accomplishments, mirth and reverence, celebrating and offering reverence for something that's happened. And those of us who follow the wheel of the year, we, of course, in our rituals have the celebrations of sun and moon, the solar and lunar holidays. We might make incense or oils within the structure of our ritual. This will not be the cookbook assembling of bits and pieces to make something. This is infusing those bits and pieces with spiritual intent, bringing them together, understanding why we're using each part, making an offering of it, and blending it to achieve our goals. Art done in circle is the same way. It's not about the mechanics. It's not about the technique. It's about what we are infusing it with. And within our circle is a wonderful place to create the energy and to infuse the items with our intent. we may use circle time for astral travel. And perhaps for the beginner, more importantly, exercising our imagination. Being able to soar, to go places we can't go physically, to use our mind to travel. My Book of the Land that I've mentioned in other videos is a great inspiration for me if I want to soar in ritual. Go places in my mind I cannot go in the physical world. If we have experience with astral travel, circle is a great place to do it in because circle will bring us back. It is our beginning and our ending place. Flights of imagination and literal flights away from our body. The beginning and the grounding that is possible within circle. An important, a powerful use of being in circle. Circle is a great place for healing, whether we are offering healing to another, and whether we are seeking healing for ourselves. For example, with my lupus, when the pain level gets really bad, enough that it keeps me from doing what I want to in life, a circle in which I lay spread-eagled in the middle of it, just absorbing the healing energy that is available to me from the elements and from my contact with etheric energy and healing other people have offered. I limp into that circle and I dance out of it. Healing for ourselves and for others is well done within the possibility of our circle. Divination, of course, that won't surprise you that I suggest that, or doing specific spells for specific intent. Also, writing and journaling. Have you thought of that as a possibility for being in a circle? Especially if you're the kind that just can't make time for it. Sometimes setting aside that kind of time. Again, you are not focusing on how pretty it comes out or how the technique of writing is flowing out of you. What you are thinking on is what's moving you. What's behind those words that have come out of you in an open-minded, free journaling experience that is part of circle. We may cast a circle for no other reason than we want to be with our gods, to see if they have anything to inspire us with, to see what moves through us. New thoughts, feelings, energetic feelings that move through us, whether they are self-constructed or indeed come from our gods. Being in circle with the intent of being open to what the universe has for us, whether we see it as a relationship to deity or we see it as a relationship to possibility. Being open to what comes our way. Well done in circle. Raising energy. This can be interesting for a solitary. I get a lot of questions about solitaries raising energy. Because you might read in books where groups get together and they do whatever they do, dance or chant, whatever they do that raises energy and releases it as a group. You don't see a lot about raising energy as a solitary. Some options are raising energy within you. Something you feel strongly within you when you are feeling healthy, when you are feeling healthy, when you are feeling at peace, when you feel an abundance of love in your life, when you are feeling particularly courageous in life. Anything, any emotion, any energy which you feel within you can be raised up and made an offering of. Literally, that kind of offering is not about you. It's about taking that kind of energy, making yourself a channel and offering it to the etheric, energetic level we work with. It leaves you settled and grateful. We're back to the reverence thing again. It also means when you are a practitioner who understands communal energy, that energy is there for others. So the reverse of that, the complement to that is you enter circle needing any of those emotions or a million other things. And you reach up and you offer yourself as a channel, but this time you're asking for that energy to come to you because it's out there. Your brothers and sisters throughout time have been making those offerings. They're selfless when they're offered that way, and they're there for the taking. You understand that the most when you begin by making an offering from yourself at one of those places of personal power that you're experiencing. The way it feels to release that is your key to how to bring it back down to you when you're lacking something and you're looking outwards for the blessing of it. The only thing I'd counsel in that situation is watch out for the gimme syndrome. You don't ask the universe for more than you need. You just don't. You understand that if you've begun from the place of offering to the universe first, because you realize it's a sacrifice. It is a deeply spiritual act to offer something of yourself, because at a particular time you may feel an excess of it. If you understand the power of giving, you won't ask for more than you should ask for. But it isn't always about selfless offering of energy. You can also, within Circle, conserve your personal energy for future use. We go through waves in our life where we have an abundance of certain energies. Other times we need those energies. You can make an offering of your energy into some kind of a vessel. I find it works well putting it into my chalice, or especially Sophia, my crystal ball. She'll take in anything I want to give her. And I love at moments of emotional epiphany, when I've done something really moving and energetic and I just feel the fire of something I did that was courageous or loving. Maybe energy that others have given me. If I have been supremely loved and I want to hold that, capture it for the future. Raising energy within Circle can be intentionally setting aside something you are experiencing as powerful for future use. Taking back your own energy in the future. There's also something called making the unknown offering. Making yourself that channel I talked about. The opening up to the etheric. Allowing the flow of energy in and out through your presence, through your body, through your energetic self. Oftentimes when you do that, not knowing if you are going to be making an offering, giving something up, or whether you need to bring something into you, you can feel that happen in your circle. When your intent may not have been, I know exactly what I have to give or what I need. You can do that through opening up to the etheric level and working with the elements within your circle. Balancing is what that would be. You don't have to know exactly what you need to be balanced to experience the feeling of being enveloped by an entire experience that then settles down to give you what you need for balance within Circle. This may seem rather simplistic, but you can, in Circle, do nothing more than set aside the time to think. You've created a place outside of the distractions in your daily life if you've cast your circle well and prepared to enter it. Being with your own thoughts is a very powerful spiritual experience. Journaling may come out of it. Capturing feelings that you want to save for the future or making an offering of may come out of it. But the beginning place is simply being with your own thoughts. You can also have an intent in ritual, which is very specifically and clearly having no intent. You may be counseled, and I will, that we don't go into Circle without having a reason to go into Circle. But the reason can be knowing I have no intent. This can be considered at the deeper level being with to wait. Being in your temple to see what happens. Entering into a situation of being with to wait doesn't mean if something doesn't happen, you're suddenly disappointed and you think you had a bad circle. It means that my intent was to wait, and I listened, and at this moment, the universe had nothing to share with me. But the next time I am with to wait, something immense could indeed happen. It's a matter of releasing expectations. Because if we're hanging on to expectations that I'm being with to wait, therefore I'm waiting for something, it won't happen. It's being in that quietness. The intent can be to have no intent, but to be in that quiet and in a way spiritually listen. The last thing I'll mention, and it's not the last thing, I'm hoping that practitioners who have had many reasons for casting their circles will add in comments other thoughts. I'd like to add as my last one, being with others. Most of you who watch my videos are solitary. when you follow a process even similar to others who have done similar things for the same reasons, you are with everyone who has ever been there. I think for a solitary, this can be mind-opening, especially if you're struggling with a feeling of aloneness. In circle, you are with all who have done what you have done for the same reason. This and many other reasons why one might set aside sacred time. Ritual is what you put into it. On its own, it's nothing. It's a bunch of bits and pieces. It's what you make of it. You have to go into it knowing, this is what I'm going to do, this is why I'm going to do it, and here's the result I intend from this. It's not there waiting for you. It comes from you. We don't do it aimlessly, with no direction, with no forethought. And by that I don't mean we don't do ritual spontaneously. We do. But even a spontaneous ritual, we are moved to a purpose to do it. Keep in mind though, another one of the beautiful paradoxes of ritual, the something can be nothing if our intent is to be with and wait, to be still and listen. That nothing becomes a very powerful something. I wish you mirth and reverence. Mary Part,